Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, mammals and lizards, and whoever is watching. Tonight we are going to make, I'm going to make a 1970s looking metal detector. I know it's kind of odd, but it will be a thing in the project I'm working on. So it's very important if it looks like it is from the 1970s, because it's going to be in the 1970s. Things you need is plastic cardboard or cardboard, EVA foam, a round plastic lid for sewage piping, big things, whatever. Different size of pipes, pipe L benders, a VHS pocket, and this is very interesting because it is a mini box. Anyway, you will also need a bunch of lids from soda bottles, two L shapes, brackets, whatever they call it, a plastic box. This is potato salad, but there's just this thing we are gonna know, so whatever. Basically, let's start this thing. And a wing nut. So, take two here of this. Well, I forgot to record last time, but whatever. It's gonna push this together, this 90-degree angles, that is almost 90 degrees because they are kind of bented. Because they make a very uncomfortable non-ergonomical grip, which they have in the 1970s on these kind of metal detectors. I have done extensive research on these metal detectors because I couldn't buy one. However, you're just gonna glue everything together. This is a very simple process, so it will be ergonomic and good for you who are a human which will use this. If you are a fish or a mammal or a lizard, well, you have to adapt it to yourself. This is adapted to human. This is very important. Anyway, now we're going to make this fantastic box like that, and we're going to make a hole to put in some transparent plastic to have the measuring device in it. Gauge is the proper name for it. Sorry for my terrible English sometimes. However, we're just gonna put a hole in this thing. Like that. You see a very, very nice, like 6 by 8 centimeters hole there in the VHS box. And now we're just gonna cut it out and glue it on the inside. Like that. And now we're going to measuring and measure out some very useful centering on the knobs, which I am going to drill holes to attach with drills, but they weren't really centered, so I'm satisfied with, so I moved them a bit. And then we're going to fill them up with some little bit of a scrap EVA foam, so they will be easier to glue on to where they're supposed to be. Like that. And now we're just going to fill them up with glue there, so they will be attached to it. And they are a little bit too high now, so let's take an X-Acto knife and cut it so it will be flat on the egg, so we have better surface areas with it. And now we're going to put some aluminum tape on here. And aluminum tape is made because I couldn't find nice knobs. So this is a very good way to make fake knobs. They will look like that. And when I'm satisfied with the result, so we are now going to make the gauge for it. And I'm just gonna freehand this. This is not gonna be a prop that you're gonna be like up front and a key prop, and so it's just gonna walk around with this thing. So, and also because they are not very complicated looking, this 1970s metal detectors. But they have the gauge anyway, so there we go with that. And also they have a lot of like switches on the side, like an on and off switch and so on, which you can put on if you want to make this really accurate. It depends on how nerdy you want to be on accurately making a 1970s metal detector, which very few people actually are going to make, I believe. However, this is the underside of it, will be attached to the tube. And now we're going to make the metal detecting part. which actually this is that lid from this big PVC pipe thing, which I actually have some L mounts there. And I'm going to do this because I'm going to make it have to adjust to be leveled with the ground, because they're very uncomfortable and not ergonomic at all. Like you see that when I'm looking for metal on my floor with my beautiful purple slippers. High fashion. Anyway, so then we're just gonna go and paint everything green and put it all together. And now, the biggest reveal of the best equipment for this special tool we'll use. It's a 1970s label maker. It's the real deal. But first, let's glue the knobs on. And I actually measure them, so yes, I can make these little labels that I will have. And then we're just gonna use this a little bit. Actually, if you don't familiar with how this 1970s old stuff works, it is black plastic that will be punctured, so the plastic will stretch and it will be white, and that's how it works. So there we go. I've glued on some labels there. And now we're gonna make a little bit electricity. We're just gonna take a cord and pull it along the whole thing. I couldn't find any accurate pictures of this, but whatever, it looks good. Well, now we're just gonna put on some black tubes here to make this awful handle that are really uncomfortable. And there we go. There we go, finished with the 1970s metal detector. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to see more.